The biggie is 705 this season. It's one of those things I read it and I was just like, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Every Rick and Morty script is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but then you get 705 and you're like, holy shit, I need to bring it.
You could never accomplish things like we accomplished in 705 if you don't have Jacob Hare. He's a one-of-a-kind animation director where he has his own innate sense of cinema.
I'll kill you!
There's a montage fight sequence in it. The entire 3 weeks that we have allotted for storyboarding could be spent on that fight sequence alone. The first description of the montage sets the tone. Here's kind of what we're going for, a massive epic scale fight. And then it lists a few beats that could happen along the way. My goal was to come up with some fighting choreography, actually timing out all those punches, all those kicks. It's done frame by frame. It's literally, you're conjuring that from nothing. There's a long side-scrolling shot in there of them just exchanging blows. The longer that goes on, the more intense builds. The idea is to keep the rhythm going. Hopefully one action is already starting up as another action is ending. There's always sort of like an overlap or a layering to the actions to make sure that they flow into each other. There's that old saying like, be careful what you fight, you will become it. Rick already is fighting Rick Prime. He's fighting himself. So the extension of that being that they become a tangled mess of each other felt just like kind of poetic.
Ugh, gross.
We had to set up this really epic base for Rick to have his big showdown with his nemesis. And that design of Prime Rick's lair was intensely detailed, but essentially this entire base has this giant energy ball in the center. We looked at a lot of nuclear bases, and the general design of this looks like a giant nuclear bomb.
All you have to do is be the last Rick left.
We got that really cool scene in the glass divided walls, the Rick Prime labyrinth where he captured Ricks that were coming after him. He's continuing to taunt Rick about what he did to his wife.
We wanted to take the bomb that originally killed Diane during that explosion in the premiere of season 3. So we thought it would be kind of poetic justice to take that same bomb design and make that part of her body. It's pretty fucked up.
Let's do this then!
Rick finally gets this guy pinned down to a chair and just punches him until he's dead.
It was really just this big sequence where he needed to become more and more messed up. We had to do like 4 different mouth charts just for that sequence, getting his mouth to speak convincingly when it's being torn apart, and he basically has like half a face.
You see a lot of violence in that scene, and you see a lot of deterioration of Rick Prime's face, but you don't see how far it goes, and I think leaving more of that to the imagination was the right call on behalf of the writers. It's one of the most brutal things I've ever worked on. Some of this stuff feels like it should be beyond the range of our ability in a single episode, you know? Everything about this episode was pushed to the max.